the fourth Trump indictment came down, and it's a doozy.
Very different.
This one is the multi-year, multi-client, multi-count.
It's the
most complicated.
Most complicated. Will take the longest. A president cannot pardon himself from a state cause of action. So you've got that ramification. Folks, this is what I predicted at the Supreme Court of the United States on behalf of President Trump 3 years ago, and it's coming true now. Take a listen.
The Second Circuit is wrong and should be reversed. If not reversed, the decision weaponizes 2,300 local DAs. An overwhelming number of them are elected to office and are thereby accountable to their local constituencies. The decision would allow any DA to harass, distract, and interfere with the sitting president. It subjects the president to local prejudice that can influence prosecutorial decisions and to state grand juries who can then be utilized to issue compulsory criminal process in the form of subpoenas targeting the president. This is not mere speculation. It is precisely what has taken place in this case and with this subpoena we challenge.
I said that almost 3 years ago, and I mean, I'm not a prophet, but boy, was I right. And now what they've done, in addition to going after President Trump so they can knock him out politically, they're going after the lawyers whose job it is to defend people. And I think this is one of the greatest attacks on liberty we have seen in our lifetime.
You saw very clearly that this was a bad precedent and that if it went forward, it would allow local DAs who are hungry for political life. They're hungry for media attention. They're wanting bigger jobs. They're wanting statewide jobs. But what you did is you warned everyone that if this went forward, we would have local DAs wreaking havoc on the justice system.
I could tell you as a lawyer, I read this thing twice last night, once this morning. I am incensed by the allegation, 41 counts, most of which are lawyers doing their job. You realize most of the defendants here are lawyers.
Yep. Yeah, it's going through.
I want everybody to hear that. They've gone after the lawyers, saying that the lawyers were involved in a racketeering, influence, corrupt organization scheme on the election, and they were advocating legal positions.
What this Georgia DA is trying to do in Fulton County is scare attorneys from taking cases.
That's exactly
correct.
correct.
And that is not America. That is Russia. And that's not even maybe even Russia today. That's communist Russia. That's like Stalinism.
The practice of law now is dangerous if you're representing a movement. And I've represented movements my whole life.
They would say, represent the terrorists. That's a duty of the equal justice of the law. Represent Donald Trump. You're also a criminal. But take that theory further. If they get away with doing this time, again, people won't be able to find attorneys. People then will not be able to defend themselves in court.
We're having trouble finding lawyers to defend the lawyers right now.
What will ultimately happen is they shut you up.
It's repulsive. It's repulsive because what they've done, they figured it out, the left. Go after the lawyers. If you can go after the lawyers, you end the fight because there's no one there to stand up in the breach. We're supposed to be the bulletproof vest of our clients. You can't do that when they're threatening you and putting you in jail.
They've taken the lack of respect. I can deal with that. But now they've taken the lack of respect to mean you're a criminal if you don't agree with our position. You're a criminal if you advocate a position that ultimately a court says is wrong. I thought it was always okay to come up with novel legal arguments, take them to court, and see if you win.
These are novel legal arguments, Jordan, by Supreme Court law clerks.
Yeah.
These are smart
Law
people.
professors.
Harvard, law professors, deans of law schools. They may not have been right, but the day that a lawyer cannot represent their client zealously, which is what our ethics require us, is a sad day for America.
They want to try all of them at the same time.
Yeah. 19 defendants at the same time.
Put them all
plus a bunch of unindicted co-conspirators. She wants a show. She wants to be president.
She wants the
Fani
show
Willis
trial.
wants to be the next governor of Georgia because Stacey Abrams done probably, and then run for president. That's what this is.
Yep. And she wants to put them all in a box. Like
knock out your adversary and then knock out the lawyers defending them.
I feel like the way that they would do this, they'd all be in a box like a criminal gang.
I think that's right.
I mean, that's how she wants them sitting in court, right?
Yeah.
All together like
dangerous.
I mean, you just see that. What imagery do we see like that still? Russia.
Lawyers come up with theories. That's what we do. We answer hypotheticals that are insane half the time when you were writing your exam. For this very purpose. And like Jordan, you said, 250 years, half of these questions haven't been answered by the Supreme Court yet.
No, there's always going to be new questions because there's new ways of speech. And the new way of speech, these social media outlets aren't actually a public forum. They're private forums. Right. And yet they're private forums where you're saying, oh, it's great. I'm watching a hearing on a television channel. That's part of a RICO case now. But going after the people who are willing to defend you, or going after those who have a different theory of the law when there are questions about that law. Remember, they had to go back and they have reworded the Electoral Count Act since this election. Because though it was accepted that the vice president's role was ceremonial, it wasn't actually clear. It wasn't actually written down that it was.
Midway through our life and liberty challenge, we talked about life yesterday. We're talking about liberty today. Let me tell you the heart of liberty, okay, is having a constitutional republic that can function. I'm talking about losing your personal liberty. These lawyers are losing their personal liberty for representing a client who happened to be the president of the United States. You want to help us help them? Go to ACLJ.org right now. Join our Life and Liberty Drive, and this is the Liberty portion of that drive. Your gifts will be doubled. ACLJ.org. Do it today. We encourage you to be engaged in this incredibly important issue. ACLJ.org, Life and Liberty Drive.